Hi there, welcome back. So in this video we're going to look at creating a lead sound for this hook using Massive again. So what I'm going to do, like I did with the sub, I'm going to drag out this MIDI hook, actually create a instance of Massive inside Logic rather than Machine. It was great to have it inside Machine for the bass sounds because we were using the scale snap in Machine to get a hook down. But now I'm just going to create this inside Logic. So we've got an instance of Massive here, and let's look at this hook from these three sounds. Let's drag this hook, click and drag that pattern there, the MIDI pattern, onto our Logic Arrange, and now we have this hook in here. So now let's look at Massive and create a lead sound, maybe do some tuning on the oscillators to create a bit of a chord effect. So I'm going to start off here in oscillator 1. I'm going to load a Woody wavetable, quite a nice organ sound, the Woody. Bring the wavetable position round a little bit here, so it's about a third of the way around, and then let's drop the pitch to -24, so -2 octaves. Get quite a nice tone there. And let's add in another oscillator in oscillator 2 section, and I'm going to go for a sine triangle. Bring the wavetable position to about a quarter of the way round, so getting a little bit of the triangle in there. Bring the amp up to full, and let's bring the pitch down by 2 octaves again. Okay, oscillator 3. Let's load in a square saw 2. But rather than have it as a square wave all the way to the left, let's bring the wavetable position all the way to the right, so it's a saw wave. Bring the amp up to full, and let's change the pitch of this to +7, and this will give us our chord or our fifth kind of interval effect here, which sounds pretty cool. And let's just tweak this patch a little bit here. So I'm going to look at this modulation oscillator again, and I'm going to look at the phase mode. I'm going to apply the phase mode to oscillator 2 and bring the phase control up. It's about halfway, so we're getting a bit of that FM vibe again. And I'm going to take the pitch down by 1 octave of this phase mode modulation oscillator. So and now let's look at some filters, and maybe take the amp of the oscillator 3 saw wave down a bit, and look at low pass filter. So I can go low pass 4 there, and bring the mix slider all the way to the bottom. So now we're only hearing filter 2, the sound is just passing through filter 2 and then to the output. So, and let's do a similar thing with that cutoff frequency. Let's use an envelope to modulate it. So envelope 1 here, click and drag the crosshair, drop it in the first modulation box, this cutoff frequency. Click and drag up so the blue bar's all the way around. And let's just tweak this envelope a little bit, just maybe take some of the sustain off. Trigger 0 reset the envelope, so it re-triggers with each new key press. And we've got that quite nice sort of organ sound that hopefully is going to complement those bass sounds quite well. So now let's go to the voicing section. Increase the voices to 4. Turn this unison spread section, turn that pitch cutoff on, and then let's add a bit of unison to those voices. And look at this master here, bring that down. And we're getting that nice, those voices, we've increased the voices here, and then we've detuned them, and we get that nice kind of unison effect. Okay, maybe let's add a little bit of dimension expander here, just to add a bit of depth and width to the sound. The size about a quarter of the way around, the dry wet halfway, and the master down so we're not going into the red. might do here as well is just boost this sustain up, so a bit more sustain on the sound on the amp envelope. Envelope 4 is the amp envelope. And go to this oscillator section. Oh, sorry, go back to voicing, because what I'm thinking with this hook is, we'll give it a play. Right, for starters, I'm going to take it up by 1 octave. Take it up by 1 octave there. But I thought it'd be quite cool if it has a bit of glide, a bit of transition sort of glide between the notes. So we can do this in massive, change the sound to monophonic, so now it's only 1 note at a time. And if we go back to this oscillator section, boost this time up here, this glide time. Now let's listen to this hook. Bit too much. Try to restart by gate. So we're getting that nice transition in between the notes now, that nice bit of glide, which is quite cool. Let's give it a spin with the other sounds now. Way too loud. So that's maybe something we can automate later on, that cutoff frequency. Let's get into a little bit of processing here with this sound straight away. I've not looked at processing too much yet, but I just thought it's quite necessary on this sound to just give it a bit more perspective. First thing I'm going to do is EQ some of the low end out of this sound, because we've got low end on the bass and the sub, and it's just, we're going to EQ that bass in a bit, but I just think it's all kind of getting a bit much. What the fuck was that? So turn on this high pass band and just bring this up to about 100 Hertz. Taking some of that weight away, and maybe this low shelf. Bring this down. So we're taking that kind of real low tone away, which is just going to mean it's going to complement the bass a little bit better now. And let's do something else as well with this quickly. Let's add some stereo width to bring it out. So go to audio units. I'm going to use Isotope Imager. There's various stereo widening tools available. I find this one just does a really good job, and I can actually add width to selected frequency bands. So what I'm going to do with this lead sound is I'm just going to add width to the mids and the highs. So I'm going to push up band 3 and band 4, and band 3 and band 4 dealing with 2K up to 20K. So band 3 is 2K to 10K, and then band 4 is 10K to 20K. So just the kind of mids and high mids. I might bring this down whilst we're listening to it. So turn on stereo as well, actually, and this delay, just crank this up to around about 16. Bring this down. Turn this down. So it's added a bit of nice width. It means we can bring it down in volume because it kind of pokes out the mix quite a bit now. So take that off. Just adding some nice width to the mids and the highs on that lead sound, and it's just kind of bringing that it's sort of separating it even more from the bass, but adding those kind of like mids and upper tones and stuff. So it's just filling out the mix. Okay, come and check us out. In the next video, we're going to look at maybe some transitions and start putting some thought into how we might arrange this track and create a bit of a pad sound as well. So come and check us out in the next video. All right, cheers.